Oh boy. Card number 102, Jim Hegan of the Cleveland Indians. Let me tell you what. I love this card. Take a look at this. Hey, Jim, the ball's already in your glove, man. I mean, it's good to keep your eye on the pitcher, but you've got the ball, dude. Just go ahead and take it out of your mitt and throw it back. Tell you what, when you have a busy day like I've had, all it takes is some rockabilly music and a beautiful vintage baseball card to ease the tension. Happy Sunday night, everybody. It's 8 o'clock on a Sunday night. It must be time for Card Room Live. And it's card number 102. So it must be session number 102. And Mike, the sports history collector, did the right thing, and he said, let's get this non-show started. We had a guest a few sessions ago that said, this show is boring. Left a comment, said, this show is boring. And it's like, yeah, it might be boring, but let's get it right, guys. It's not a show. It's a hangout for fellow vintage collectors. So, yeah, we have guests every now and then. We don't have any guests tonight. No matter whether we have guests or not, we are always wasting time looking at and talking about old, crusty cardboard. And through it all, we try to make it time well wasted. Happy Sunday evening to everybody halfway through September. You can smell October baseball in the air. If you're here with us live, welcome to you. Welcome to my fellow YouTubers. Welcome to the commenters. Welcome to the folks from Instagram, the folks from X, all the lurkers out there. A welcome to you as well. If you happen to be listening to this later, you might be doing so many things. You might be coming to, going to work or coming home from work. You might be sorting cards. You might be looking at eBay. You might be rolling meatballs, walking the dog, sitting on the john. You might be thinking about Eddie Wakus just by chance, wondering if we're going to look at some Eddie Wakus cards. You might be wondering what other kind of Mike foolery is going to happen tonight. No doubt there'll be some of that. Whatever you might be doing, I hope you get something out of it. What other stuff are you guys doing when you're listening to this later? Let me know. Leave a comment, and maybe I'll add it to the opening shtick. If you want to get in touch or have ideas for future sessions, or you want to tell me what you're doing when you listen to this recording, you can email me at bowman53channel@gmail.com. You can also find me on Instagram, bowman53_Alex, on X 1953, Bowman Color. All that information is located in the description below. As always, this session of Card Room Live is brought to you by Spalding's Official Baseball Guide, edited by Henry Chadwick, the father of baseball. This best guide ever published contains the new rules and pictures of all the leading teams in major and minor leagues, as well as individual action pictures of prominent players. Think Babe Ruth, think Ty Cobb. It features the World's Championship and a complete review of the year in the National and American leagues, as well as the minor leagues. For only 10 cents, guys, both baseball managers and players should definitely send away for a copy of Spalding's baseball catalog. It's just a mail slot away. Just send a message and 10 cents to A.G. Spalding and Brothers at 439 Wood Street. And don't actually do that, because you're going to get disappointed in the result. Just a word of warning. So good evening to everybody. Let's see who's here. Well, we already know Mike is here. And Mr. Glare Life Stukes, Baseball Cards and Curiosities, is here. Peter B. is here. White Sox fan card collector Mitchell is here. The usual suspects. Everyday card collector Jason is here. What's up? Drew from the Clean Cheap Shots channel is here. Drew was a great guest that we had last time, along with Joe from Four Soft Corners, talking about the 1953 top set, which was a lot of fun. And boy, we tried to cram that all into 1 hour, and there was a whole lot more we could have talked about, but it was great looking at that set. Orlando is here. Lou Rock TV is here. Hammer 44 is here. Warren D and the CLE is here. Retro Card Spective is here. Pastor Craig is here. What's up? Boston Kid is here. Let's see. Kurt in Brooklyn is here. What's up, Kurt? Card Room Live lowers cholesterol. I don't know about that. But I'm ready and willing to see the studies that prove that. Vintage Oddball Cards. Rick is here. You didn't miss much, Rick. There's not much to miss on this live stream. Mr. Star Huddle 77. Brent is here. Good evening and happy episode 102. Thank you, Brent. Always glad to see you here. Peacemaker Cards is here. Let's see. That's probably Bob. He says all shows are boring. It's tough. It's tough to keep Bob entertained. You might be planning your next video. Absolutely. That's a great way to use your time. I am sitting on my dog who happens to be on the John. That's a really disturbing image, Jason. Did you think about that comment before you hit enter? I don't know that you did. Happy Hispanic Heritage Month to those who celebrate. We should all celebrate that. Absolutely. Let's see. Happy Roberto Clemente Day. We can definitely talk about Roberto Clemente. I've got nothing planned for tonight's session. I was hoping to encourage everybody to list cards or sets in the chat that we could go take a look at on eBay. But I had a feeling somebody would bring up Roberto Clemente, so I pulled so far the only Roberto Clemente card that I have. I'm sure I will get more, and I have some in my mind that I would like to get at some point, but this is the one that I have, and it's my favorite one, I think. It's the 1956 Topps. And I love when I'm on my live stream because it's so bright. The camera is so bright and the lighting is so bright that you completely wash out the grade, because the grade doesn't matter. If anybody's curious, the grade is a 4. I got this a number of years ago, but I just love this card, and I love that it's Clemente making this fantastic catch in Ebbets Field of all places. A wonderful card, a wonderful image, and of course it's Roberto Clemente. It doesn't have that thing that happened to him later in his career when people started calling him Bob Clemente and sort of insisted that would be what he's referred to here. It's his proper name. I just love this card. So happy Roberto Clemente Day, and we can certainly look up Roberto cards if anybody wants to call any cards out. Retire number 21. Big shout out to the sponsors. Without them, we wouldn't have the best hangout on YouTube. Right. Yeah. Let's all make sure that we thank Albert Spalding, because without Albert's support, I wouldn't be able to do this. What's up? The Card Story is here. Absolutely. Jesse is resting after putting out a video. I hope Jesse shows up. Jesse, if you're out there, so proud of you, man. For those of you that do not know Jesse's channel, maybe a wrench holder can put Jesse's URL in the comment. Jesse ThinkBlue77, a long-standing member of our community, an incredible collector. Lightning struck today. Jesse made a video. It's been months. It's been months since Jesse last made a video, and we all know that life happens and it's hard to make videos sometimes. So the fact that Jesse got back on the horse is kind of awesome. So you should definitely check out Jesse's channel if you're not familiar with it. Jason knows how to have fun on a Sunday night. Absolutely. Larry's here. What's up, Larry? Stephen with a PH is here. Oh, and this guy's here. Roberto's final card issued after his death features Mets catcher Jerry Grote, who just passed away this year. Mookie, that's a great way. I'm going to be really crass and completely disregard the sensitive notion of what you just shared with us. And let's just talk about the elephant in the room, the Phillies and the Mets, man. I don't even need to say anything, right? You're feeling it, right? You can feel that. You can feel the tension from up here, right? You can feel it. I'm sure you can. Thank you, Mike. Here is Jesse's channel. Ranger Studios didn't do anything cool this week. Don't do anything cool this week. I'm at a baseball game. Okay, so this is our chance to talk about um, Ranger Studios live, knowing that he can't really focus on it and comment back, guys. So if anybody has any Ranger Studios gripes or wants to talk about how awesome bunting cards are, tonight's our night. I had to do it. I mean, you would do it too, right? Like don't play innocent, man. Don't play innocent. You would do it too. Um, that's right. That's right. Go Phils. Um, need to recognize Mandy Sanguian on this Roberto Clemente day. His best friend, a Panamanian legend. Boston Kid says Clemente should be in a Hall of Fame's Hall of Fame. I'm so disappointed that I couldn't do it to you. You'll have your day, man. Right? You'll have your day someday. I hope not. All right, guys. So, what should we look up? Should we look up Clemente cards? Anybody have any cards that they'd like to look up? I'll share two cards that I was looking up just before I went live. For no particular reason. These are just cards that I was like thinking about recently. Actually, these are two cards that came up in recent Card Room Live, either Card Room Live discussions or other discussions that I've had. It's hard to keep track of whether it was like a text message or a video that I watched or a live stream that I watched. But I'm sure as what happens for all of us, different cards come up at different times. And here are a couple that popped in my mind recently. So the first was the 1954 Topps Granny Hamner. Now, for anybody that's new to Card Room Live, when I click on an eBay listing, it's not because it's a good listing necessarily, so everybody can just chill out about that. It's more just to look at the card. And also what am I looking for? I guess this is a warning. Card Room Live is not responsible for influencing people into purchasing cards that they weren't otherwise going to purchase. I've heard many times over the years in the chat that somebody bought a card because of Card Room Live. Hey, that's none of our fault. Okay, none of us take responsibility for your spending habits. Okay, buy baseball cards responsibly. Okay, so yeah, this Granny Hamner card popped in my mind. I can't remember who brought it up. It might have been a fellow Phillies collector. It might have been Reese, actually, Indie Card Ranger. I'm not sure. But somebody showed this card recently, and it just jumped out at me. I'm always looking for, I mean, I love this set. As some of you guys know, I really like 54 Topps. But the thing I like the most about 54 Topps is when these two separate images just seem to go well together. Sometimes they do, and in my opinion, sometimes they don't. But I really like this one because you got Granny in the color shot, bat in hand, ready to take a swing. But then in the black and white full body picture, you've got him making a play. So it's kind of like the full scope of Granny Hamner-ness encapsulated in the 54 Topps card. And of course, I got to love that Phillies logo with the ball orbiting the hat, which is a very sort of 50s thing. So this card just jumped out at me. Not saying I'm going to get it necessarily anytime soon, but I wrote it down, and I like the card. So there's Granny Hamner. And the other card that I wrote down recently I'm pretty sure it was from Card Room Live, and I think this one was from the conversation that I had with Rick Acosta and Chuck Northside Guy when we were talking about sets and collecting and displays. And of course, Chuck Northside Guide has a fantastic Gaudy collection, and he was just holding up cards. And I really like the way that Chuck collects because he does collect sets, but he also sort of he'll just collect cards that speak to him visually, and it's not necessarily just Hall of Famers. He'll also collect common cards, and he showed a 1933 Gaudy Jim Elliott. And again, he was just kind of holding up cards, and this one jumped out at me. And it's funny because it jumped out at me in part because of the look of the card, but I think it also jumped out at me just because of the way that Chuck described the card. And I was like, I'm going to write that one down. I've literally, here's the note. I wrote right here on my desk. And what do you know? It's got a Mookie pinhole in it. That was not planned. Unfortunately, it's graded Mookie, but it does have a pinhole in it. So somebody else really loved Jim Elliott back in the day. But I just thought this was a cool card, and so I wrote it down. So those are just two cards that kind of jumped in my head recently. But I'm curious now that I've been chatting for a while. Any other cards that you all want to look up? Eddie's Cardboard Chaos is here mentioning a Clemente card. Let's take a look at a Clemente card. Eddie says that his favorite Clemente is the 1973 Tops. So let's take a look. I know we all know that card, but it's always fun to have another look. And of course, you're going to see all kinds of, reprints and raw and graded and all that kind of stuff. But there's the 73 Tops Clemente. Back when the action shot started to become more and more common. Okay, taking a we'll come back to Chuck Dress and let's look at another Clemente card. So Kurt in Brooklyn is saying Clemente's 1971 Tops, and I can see that Boston Kid is in agreement. Yeah, that's kind of a fantastic one, right? It's the Black Beauty. That's definitely one. I have absolutely no cards from the 70s yet, which I know is like insane. But this is definitely a card that is on my wish list. This one happens to have a nice lightning bolt right through the middle of it, but that's okay because I'm not going after this particular card right now, and there's nothing wrong with a lightning bolt. Let's go to Chuck Dressen here. 1951 Bowman is a suggestion from Mike, Sports History Collector. I think I know which one this is. Is this the one with him pointing at the chalkboard? Yes. This is a really cool card just because it's an unusual manager card. And, like how many cards, how many baseball cards? I don't know the answer to this. This is just me thinking out loud. How many baseball cards actually technically take place in the locker room or like somewhere other than on the field, right? Or in the dugout even. And like this is one of them. I don't know how many others there are. I'm sure there are a bunch. But this one's kind of awesome. And what's cool about this is it's got all sorts of fun little like Easter eggs in it. You can see the lineup here. You've got Carl Furillo, you've got Snyder, and most importantly, you've got Jackie Robinson. You can barely see, it must be Gil Hodges at first base, which is just really cool. A little slice of Brooklyn baseball there. You can see some pitchers. I think Newcomb's on here. A lot of little fun insight into the roster at the time. So that's a fun one. Okay, so here in summation, if Scott happens to listen to this after the game, Jason's got us covered. Bunting cards are awesome. Don Mossy is not a handsome man. Don Field of Dreams is always right. And the Cleveland Indians are not good. Jason's just doing a dump of all of these pent-up frustrations that he's had over the past several years. So there it is in summation. So maybe Jason is trying to start a like a love-hate relationship with Scott. You might have just succeeded there, Jason. Okay, a cool suggestion from Brent. 1967 Tops test sticker Clemente for mayor. Oh yes, yeah, I've seen that. I wonder if that's even going to show up on eBay. Let's just give it a shot. I don't know how common or uncommon these are. Maybe somebody else does. Okay, well, there's a few. No, and again, don't know if these are authentic or not, but we're not really worried about that today. You should be worried about it if you're going to purchase something, but we're not really worried about it. Here he is. But this is just Bob Clemente. Do they have Clemente for mayor? Let me see if I can find that somewhere else. Oh yeah. I'll pull this picture up here for a second. I'm sure most of you have seen this before, but just in case you haven't. There you go. And let me make this image a little bit bigger. There you go. Thank you, Brent. Brent literally just texted me. He's got my back, but I found it, Brent. I found it eventually. Very cool. Definitely not something you see every day. Kurt says, regarding Cleveland baseball, I'll be in the terrible position of pulling for them this week when they host Minnesota. Keep the ragging coming, guys. Keep the ragging coming. Scott's going to really enjoy listening to this later on. I'm surprised you waited till episode 102 for that disclaimer, Alex. All the inspiration in the other 100 and card room lives are fair game then. Lawyered. Yeah, well, I mean, it's always surprising whenever that has happened, but I don't think it's actually been, my doing. It's been all of y'all. So if you want to blame anybody, blame yourselves, guys. You're all the ones that are like coming up with cool cards to look up, not me. That's my way of scapegoating and getting out of trouble. Let's see. Mark Hoyle's Impossible Dream is here. What's up, Mark? Max Jackson loves the 72 card. Let's go take a look at the 72 card. I don't think we looked that one up yet. What's up, Max? Good to see you. It's always fascinating when I hear Max mention a non-pre-war card. Doesn't happen every day. Yeah, this one is an extremely unique card. It's also incredibly poignant. Okay, we're going all over the place, which I love. This is fantastic. And this is kind of like, what this is like looking on all the cards you all are mentioning. It's like going on YouTube and looking in your feed, and you're just going to see all different types of cards in terms of what people are collecting, what they're picking up, and what they're showing in their videos. Mitchell mentions the 64 Topps Giants Clemente. Yes. I think everybody loves the Topps Giants set. It's a really beautiful set. It's a unique set, and it's not a terribly expensive set. I mean, there are definitely expensive cards in that set. But it's also a small set, comparatively speaking. So it's a doable build. And this is definitely a cool card. Let's pick the one that has some glare, right? Everybody likes a little glare. We all live in the glare life. How about that glare, guys? What do you think? It's like, and it's right in his face too, right? Like top notch eBay photography. Living the glare life. I want to go back. Stuke is mentioning 1913 Fatima, New York National League. A young Jim Thorpe sitting on the end of the row. Yes, gotta love the Fatima team cards, right? New York Nationals. Not to mention a whole bunch of other guys like Mathewson, uh, Mr. McGraw, Mr. Snodgrass, Mr. Merkel. I mean, what a collection of characters. Not to mention the mascot. I mean, look at that mascot. If you like, look up this card on your own. Don't mess around with that mascot. I wish we could have mascots like. I mean, don't get me wrong, Philly Fanatic, greatest mascot in sports, but uh, I don't know the New York Nationals mascot in 1913. Don't mess around with him, guys. Warren is back, um, back in action. Yeah, it's a cool card, right? I'm way behind. You guys are like 10 minutes ahead of me. Let's see. I'm so far back. Dresden is showing the math on why you pull Nukem for Branca. Yeah. That's a good one. Mm, are you saying, Jason, 1952 tops? I just caught your correction. 1952 tops. Sherman Lawler, of course, as a White Sox guy, you're going to say that, but let's go look at it. 1952, whoops, tops. Lawler. It is a cool card. We'll allow it. Catcher cards always um, catch the eye, right? And this is no exception. And like he's excited, right? He's excited to make the play. He's excited for the next pitch. Whereas in my 53 Jim Hegan, again, Jim, the ball's already in your glove, dude. Not Jim. Yeah, Jim. Yeah, the ball's already in your glove. Whereas Sherman, he's anticipating that, but it hasn't happened yet. Lou is anticipating a Subway series. Mm, that's got to be painful, right, Mookie? Okay, White Sox, Mitchell. Now look up the 1954 Bowman, Paul Richards. I know where this is going. I know where this is going, Mitchell. You're taking us down a dark path. For those of you that don't have an image pop in your head when you hear 1951 Bowman, Paul Richards, your life's about to change. Yeah. This is like, does anybody know? Because I've seen this card, of course, and I knew exactly what this card was as soon as Mitchell said it, and I've seen it on YouTube, and people have talked about it. But seriously, like, what the hell? Like, like it makes me wonder: did Bowman briefly consider doing caricatures in 51 for all the players, and then decide not to do that? Because this one does not look like any of the cards, like remotely. I don't think, right? There's no other cards that come close to looking like this from this set. Fascinating and bizarre. Mookie, thanks for pointing that out. What's up, Sammy? Good to see you. Who's your Barry? Who's your granny? That's right. That's what it says on the back of the card, Granny Hamner card. Jason is just crabby because he's a White Sox fan. Hey, it's okay. You know what? As a Phillies fan, I totally empathize with fans of teams that go above and beyond with their suckiness. The Phillies have had their share of that, so it's all good. I'm way behind here. Let's see. Pastor Craig, 56 red Shane Dienst. The Collision. Okay, let's take a look. I mean, I can kind of picture it in my head, but It's not a card that immediately comes to mind. Oh, okay. Wow, that's intense. I don't know that I've ever really taken the time to focus on that one. Yeah, that's a real moment, isn't it? That's a great call, Pastor Craig. Thank you for calling that one out. Um, okay, Mookie says, how about the 1959 Corsair outfield trio? I love that combo card insert set. Someone at Tops broke out the thesaurus for the title of that card. Right. Let's take a look. Was it 59? Yeah. Since we're getting back to kind of jumping all over the place, but I think Clemente is the sort of the mainstay of the day, appropriately. Mark saying the Clemente or the Yas for Mayor are super tough to find. Calibru 3, the 1963 Topps Nelly Fox is a classic Chaw card. Absolutely. I would love for somebody to do, please, somebody do a Nelly Fox Chaw PC. Whether you already have one built or I mean, it would be a lot of fun because basically nearly every single card that Nelly Fox has ever been on features a wad in his cheek. So like Mitchell, Jason, y'all should be on that. And then there should be like a rating, like which of Nelly's cards is the most Chaw worthy. Just like there should be a rating system. Cool. All right. Warren never saw, I'm not sure which one, but there was a Clemente that we looked at that Warren hadn't seen. That's always kind of the fun thing about these sessions is just looking up cards that maybe some of us haven't come across before. By the way, I never say Bob Clemente. I always say Roberto Clemente. Yeah, do any of us ever say Bob Clemente? I mean, I feel like we all know that happened at one time, like in the past, and we see it on the baseball cards. But does anybody ever say Bob Clemente? I feel like maybe somebody from that time period, only because they were so used to hearing the announcers say it. That's just me guessing. But I feel like nobody actually ever says Bob Clemente. It's always Roberto. There he is. There's the content creator, Mr. Jesse Think Blue 77. What's up, Jesse? I'm so far behind. The theme for tonight, Sammy, is there is no theme. Although I would guess it's kind of become Clemente, but it's just kind of all over the place. Brandon asked, did they put Bob instead of Roberto to save room or to mess with him? Honestly, it was to mess with him. No, not well. I mean, it was to if you really want to know, you can watch the baseball documentary by Ken Burns, but they talk about it in there, and there's also a documentary just on Clemente. And any book that you read about him, they were trying to they were trying to quote unquote Americanize him and make him, they in a way sort of take away his origins and his heritage and who he really was, and they made a mistake. They made a massive mistake, and I think eventually, people have obviously we've let go of that, and I think they even let go of it towards the end of his career. But yeah, it was a mistake of the times. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up here. Boston Kid 1968's Clemente is underrated. Let's go take a look at it. Oops. Cool. Yeah, this, and this one, to me, the thing that I like about this card are the way all these colors go together. Here's kind of a beat up copy of it. But I like the blue sky. I even like the little purple Pirates um, team designation in the corner. And I know some people don't like the burlap. I'm cool with the burlap. Blah blah blah. Mike still in first. Dodger fan. Dodger fan. 64 Tops is definitely a cool set. Top notch glare game. Going back. Okay, I really got to catch up here. There you go. Here's Lou. Here's Lou kind of explaining it a little bit better than I did. They used Bob to Americanize his name and to make it more likable. Yeah, exactly, to English-speaking Americans. But Clemente was not a fan and voiced his opinion often about it. And like that's the kind of thing that's crazy to us now. But at the time, he had to fight even with that. Like even in the in the people, sorry, in the way people referred to him, he had to fight about that too. A main player on the Fatima is Larry Doyle. Well, of course you would say that, Max, being a Larry Doyle collector. Star Huddle 77 is reaching out to Killebrew 3. I assume you're a Killebrew collector. If so, we need to collect. Yes. Killebrew.3. If you are not following Star Huddle 77, you need to stop, open up a new tab on your browser, go to YouTube and look up Star Huddle 77. You two need to have a chat. Yeah, just watch out, man. If you want to, I can start opening up photographs and sharing them of the fanatic beating up Mr. Matt. I don't want to, but I will if I have to. Hey, smash that like button. I appreciate it. Vintage Cards. Vintage Cards, when are you going to make another video, man? It's been a while, I feel like. Do I have it right that Larry Doyle is the first MVP? If anybody in here knows that, it's Maxa Jackson. So, Maxa, what do you say? Let's see. Mike got outbid for that Richards card the other day and was signed. Wow, how about that? He signed that card. Y'all are talking about the Paul Richards. Alex, can you look up a more modern card? Type in 2004 Tops. No, I don't understand I can't type that in. My fingers don't know how. Sorry, Mookie. Don Massey was not a handsome man. 1954 Bowman Nelly is very Chaw-y. Yes. Where on the Chaw meter does 1954 Bowman Nelly Fox rank? Let's take a look. 1954 Bowman Fox. Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, it's so Chaw-y that even the Chaw has a shadow. Look at that. What am I doing here? I'm trying to get over here. I have a bunch of Nelly's cards. I want his Wilson Franks. Let's go take a look at Nelly Fox's Wilson Franks card. Less Chawy, but That's because Nelly's thinking about hot dogs in this shot, right? There's like a little thought bubble above his head, and he's got hot dogs on his mind. $49 Leaf Wagner, speaking of Chaw. Yeah. That's another category we can get into. Let's see. How is it 8:41 already? There's John going at it. Whoops. The 57 Cons Wieners Clemente is a great card with likely his best smile on a card. Okay. I've definitely seen that card in our community. I know a number of our pals in this community have that card. Compliments of Cons Wieners, the Wiener, the world awaited. There it is. Yeah, it's a great shot of him. It Cometh an Egg also likes baseball cards, guys. That's definitely worth noting. Orlando also likes cards. How many of the rest of you guys like baseball cards? Let's take a vote. Apparently, a non-baseball team is about to start playing a sport, and they're called Da Bears. Have fun, Mitchell and Jason. Doug, sorry, man, you've missed all the Met bashing. There's been just like I don't know, a very minimal amount of it, but you should not be that surprised. You know who I am. It's a very difficult room tonight. Hey, you guys knew what happened this weekend. You didn't have to come in here tonight, right? You could have like just avoided it altogether. Chaw Shadow. He has a wad of love in his 59 tops, does he? So somehow it's become we're on I don't know, we're on a Clemente kick, which makes sense, and we're on a Nelly Fox kick, which makes no sense. And look at him. He's pondering life. It's like a high school portrait here. Look at that. What a great shot. Eddie likes baseball cards. Retro Card Spective is okay with them. Maybe he could kind of go either way. Um, yes, glamour shots, right? Boston Kid, random thought. Chili Davis had pretty good numbers. Check his numbers out. Yes, I feel like I've heard Chili Davis rumblings on social media a lot over the past year or two, and I certainly remember him growing up, and that's all I can say because he's not really vintage. So that's all I have to say about Chili Davis. Vintage sports flips, man. I would have liked to hear some Mets bashing too. Yeah, it's just too easy. It's too easy. I'm trying to hold back. I like Mookie. I like Doug. Against my better judgment. A lot of love is the name of my new band. Wow, I've caught up, guys. We've got 15 minutes. Any other last cards you want to pull up? Pre-war, post-war, Clemente. Nellie Fox. Anything and everything goes. And if you're bored, it's not a show, man. So you can't be bored. There's no such thing as boredom if it's not a show. Is it time to show the 55 Bowman Minoso? That's a really great idea, Orlando. If you're in the market for a beautiful vintage card that really shows character and ability and the versatility of a good player, you should take a look at the 1955 Bowman Mini Minoso TV card. You wouldn't be disappointed, guys. Now, I'm really fully endorsing this card now. You won't regret it. I would like heavily invest in this card if I were you. Forget crypto. Forget what's that guy's name? Jeff Wilson. All those folks. No, forget all that. This is where you want to put your money, right here. Bunting is coming back, guys. And what's going to happen is everybody's going to look at this card. They're going to realize the skill that it takes. They're going to realize if they were bunting, they would win more games. Everyone's just going to be looking at this card and just be inspired to use this and bring this back into their strategy. And before you know it, we're going to have more bunting cards. There's going to be so many bunting cards. People are going to start asking artists to render bunting cards, artists like our friend Scott. So get ready, Scott. There's going to be a lot of folks asking you to do bunting artwork. That's my best pitch for the 55 Minoso. Simply a work of art. That's right. Any Minoso card is like, no, to be serious. Yeah. I mean, does he have a bad card? I don't know. Best bunting card ever. Absolutely. What Alex is saying about the 55 Minoso is what I've been preaching about the 55 umpire cards. Yeah, I love the 55 umpire cards. How can you not? Don Mossy didn't have the skill set to bunt. Everything about that card says don't bunt like this. I don't know. I actually want to like turn the TV on and see how this goes. If somebody threw a pitch, how would this turn out for Minnie? Doug still trying to shed some Gavin Lux cards. Bunting is really big around the World Series. Normally they place them on the facades. I didn't see it coming. It totally paid off in the end. No one has the skill set to bunt today, apparently. Yeah. There's a player on the Phillies. His name is escaping me. They really wanted to bunt because he's really fast, and he just for the life of him, he just can't do it. And they keep saying like, oh, he's really working on it. He's really working on it, and it really doesn't seem like he is, or his coaches are just not good at it. Or I don't know what's going on. To be fair, I do think it's hard to bunt, 99-mile-an-hour pitches, but bunting. Scott's gonna love listening to all this. It's not Bryson Stott, although he should also be able to bunt. Killer Brew 3, Bill Tuttle, 1963, tremendous Chaw. Bill would advise not to start dipping, though. Yeah, none of us would necessarily encourage each other to start dipping, right? 1963 Topps Tuttle. I didn't think at 8 o'clock tonight that I'd be looking up a 1963 Topps Bill Tuttle card, but that's exactly what makes Card Room Live so fun, is that it's unpredictable. Here you go, guys. It's what you always wanted. That is some serious, and not only that, but let me get the comment out of the way here. Where's the mouse? Even in the insert photograph, I mean, it's like the Chaw cheek is highlighted. The sun is hitting it. On both shots. Bill Tuttle. Um, Fair enough. Mookie says Don Mossy hit 2 career home runs and hit 163. He had no need to bunt, right? He was above bunting. Tuttle is smuggling eggs. Dear Lord, guys. Old school is right. There you go. Jason's been inspired, guys. Somebody needs to do a Chaw PC. Or acorns for winter, right? Any other WAD cards that come to mind? Doug, if you're still here, we have to figure out when we're going to do our session. Letting the cat out of the bag, but Doug and I are trying to get back in the swing of doing our unofficial Card Room Live series, which is looking at certain cards and sets, but this time we're going to throw a twist on it. So, Doug, I'll reach out to you, but we should pick a Sunday that works. And if anybody else has any ideas for a session, please feel free to reach out. I know I'm not paying attention to you guys, but I've got a very important text message from a fellow YouTuber. It's going to be something to look at here to finish up today. Okay, good. Yeah, and by the way, if anybody does want to be on the live stream, you can always reach out to me. And if you have an idea for a topic, like sometimes I'll throw stuff around, but if you have an idea for a topic or anything that you want to go over, just let me know. Killer 3 again with a Chaw card. Let's see if you can match this Bill Tuttle. Carew has a card from 75 SPC. Oh yeah, he does. There you go. Yeah, we got that one already, Jesse. Did you take a bathroom break? Let's do one more from Stuke, Mr. Wrenchholder. 1960 tops. Rocky Bridges, which is a great name. These guys. How about that? Lonely Basement Baseball Cards is top loading some SSPCs at the moment. So apropos to end this session of Card Room Live, I have a special altered version of a Clemente card that we were looking at earlier. This is from our friend Brent at Star Huddle 77. It's an homage to the Clemente card, but also to one of our favorite food and beverage sets. Let me back out of this so we can just see this in its full glory. You all can't see what I'm trying to show you. Hold on one sec. We'll get this working in just a second. It's not me, it's this card. Look at that. Handmade by our friend Brent at Star Huddle 77. I think that's a great card to end on. Thanks so much for coming in here tonight, everybody. Always a fantastic opportunity to hang out with all you guys. If you liked this live stream about nothing, please give it a thumbs up and say so. Make yourself heard. If you don't like it, I'm not sure why you stayed this whole time, but I guess thanks for staying. Again, if you want to get in touch or if you have ideas for future sessions, you can email me at bowman53channel@gmail.com. We'll come up with some schedules and some guests and some other stuff coming up soon. But for tonight, that is it, everybody. Have a fantastic September evening. Don't forget For Collectors at 9 o'clock. And until next Sunday night at 8, have a great week, everybody. Stay safe, stay happy, stay fun, enjoy your collecting, and take care. See you guys. Have a good night.